All right, guys, we got 10 gallons of Jello, a 750 grain Control Chaos 50. I think this is gonna get pretty messy. I'm gonna show you guys how I handle a Jello shot. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Whoa, yeah! Holy smokes. I think it's gonna be a great day. Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here from Moss Pawn & Gun. You guys probably enjoyed that shot in the intro with the 50 cal and the two 5-gallon buckets of Jello. That was kind of a little idea I thought would be kind of fun. We're gonna be talking about some very unique ammunition for you today. We're gonna be shooting the Lehigh Defense Control Chaos line. And a few of these loadings have been available for a couple of years, but they're branching out into several other offerings because it's been such a success. One of the nice selling points of this ammunition is the fact that it's mostly 100% lead free. So it's available in pretty much all 50 states for hunting and everything like that. The 50 cal, 750 grains. The really neat thing about the way that these projectiles are made is that they are solid machined brass, and they have a very large cavity that creates an air pocket. When they hit, that whole pocket all the way down to the bottom basically vaporizes, and the base carries through and penetrates nice and deep. You'll see here in a moment, we're gonna get after the 50 a little bit more and shoot some more stuff, but we're gonna be doing the 50 cal. We're gonna be talking about the 55 grain 223, really nasty little round, as you'll see here in a moment. We're gonna be running the 145 grain 308, all right? That's a really nasty little projectile, you'll see in a moment here. And we're also gonna be running 110 grain 300 Blackout. These are getting out around 2,400 feet per second, so that's certainly cooking out of a 300 Black. We're gonna do a little bit of ballistics gel testing for you guys today, but it's not the kind of ballistics gel testing you're probably used to seeing. So stick around, this is gonna be a really fun day. We're gonna get after this 50 a little bit more, and we're gonna destroy some things. So let's get to it, we got a lot to talk about. All right, guys, we had so much fun with the 50 cal in that first couple of shots there. We're gonna try a couple of pumpkins here that are full of Jello. All right, now these guys here are pretty solid. They got that nice fleshy exterior with that soft Jello-y interior. I think these things are gonna come apart pretty well. So 750 grain Control Chaos Lehigh Defense round. Let's make it happen here. What we're trying to show here is how well the cavity in that bullet fills up and expands rapidly, and that base carries through. So we want to see a penetration here. This shouldn't be a problem. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow, yeah. Awesome. All right, guys, we can see so far that the Control Chaos 750 grain 50 cal ammo is running really nice, and it's pretty much destroying everything in its path. We had a bunch of college kids apparently had some kind of a crazy frat party, and they left their mess behind. So I think I'm gonna teach them a lesson, and I'm gonna clean up the mess with one shot. We're gonna shoot one more 750 grainer out of this bad boy, and we're gonna get to work here. But we are going to be doing some ballistics gel stuff later in the video that you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy, I promise. So let's get behind this 50 here, shoot one more time, and then we're going to also showcase some 5.56 and 308 offerings as well. Let's do it. All right, guys, I'm looking down the scope here, and I see a Heineken keg and a bunch of Solo cups, some chips. I'm going to see if I can punch that Heineken keg right in that star right there. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. Let's go see what happened. That'll teach those little college kids to mess with me. Got a little head here, a couple of chips left. Look at that. It even spread the cheese onto the chips for me. Look at that. There we are. See, I get to have some fun too. Let's move forward to some other things here. That's not too bad. All right, everybody, we're gonna move along with some ballistics gel testing with the 55 grain Control Chaos Lehigh Defense. Now, it's not the kind of ballistics gel testing that you're thinking. All right, what we're trying to replicate here, we've got a turkey leg to replicate a bone of a person who's turned, you know, this way. All right, We got 4 layers of denim, rib meat, pork ribs, and then the ballistics gel. So we want to show this 55 grain load punching through all that stuff and see what kind of temporal cavity that we get in the initial gel, and then also see what that base does to carry through. Hopefully we're going to get a good result here, so let's try it. The little gun we're running today is a Mag Tactical Air 15, 16.5 inch barrel. We're running a Vortex Spitfire. Let's go ahead and shoot her up here. That looked pretty impressive, so let's have a look, see how it turned out. All right, guys, well, I have to say I'm pretty dang impressed with how that 55 grain Control Chaos load performed here. I honestly did not expect it to do this well. All right, we see here that we have a very large cavity that's about 4 inches tall and probably about, it tapers, but you figure, I got a ruler here, it's about 9 inches long. So that's a very large permanent cavity doing a lot of damage. Now bear in mind that round penetrated through this freaking hock here, through the bone, okay, through 4 layers of denim, which is FBI standard, through rib meat and the bone in the rib right there, and then did all that damage. And the base, remember earlier we were talking about kind of like a wad cutter style base that pops through? The base ended up penetrating roughly around 19.5 inches. Now that's pretty dang exceptional. That's perfectly capable of taking even some larger game. Now 5.56, 2.23 is excellent for critter getting, small critters, small animals. But the fact that that base, we're going to go ahead and cut it out here. The fact that that base did as well as it did is just really impressive to me. So we're going to go ahead and just cut that out, see if I can stick my finger in there and get it out without cutting myself or anything. Okay. So you see the little wad cutter style base. So pretty impressive. We are going to move on with some other ballistics gel testing. We're going to perform it in this same exact configuration with both the 300 Blackout and the 308. So let's get to it. I'm really excited to see how well it's going to work. All right, guys, moving along to 300 Blackout. This is the 110 grain Control Chaos loading. Very awesome so far. We're actually running Lehigh Defense's Iroquois can. This is their 30 caliber can. Very quiet considering that this is a supersonic load. So again, same exact ballistics medium. We've got the turkey arm, the denim, the rib meat, the ballistics gel. You're not really going to say that in the same sentence too often, but here we go. Looks like it went through. Let's go have a look, see what kind of damage we got. All right, guys, we're coming over here and looking at the 110 grain 300 Blackout. I'm very impressed at how well this thing performed. So again, right through the turkey hock, took a nice chunk of bone out of that turkey hock, through 4 layers of denim, all right, through the rib meat, which I knew that was going to happen, actually through the bone there, severed the bone as well. And then we've got a very, very nasty permanent cavity here that was left over. Roughly almost 6 inches high and about, let's see, about 12 inches long before it starts to just break off where it's just the base, the little wad cutter piece. Now we had a couple of sections of this fire hose back here, hoping that we could maybe stop our projectile like we did before, but for whatever reason it must have skewered off and went into the Blue Wander, so I don't have the base to show you. But I tell you, that little 110 is a nasty critter, and I imagine if you had to shoot a deer or any kind of other, you know, creature with it, it would certainly possess the potential to cause a very lethal wound to an animal and put them down quickly. And also when you consider the amount of like bone and meat and other things that were drawn into the wound. So imagine your arm and your bones and pieces of your body going in and causing additional damage. I mean, there's everything from little bullet fragments that winded up in here all the way to, I mean, this thing drug meat and bone all the way into the wound, at least half the distance of this block, which is about 8 inches. So that's pretty impressive, you know, considering that it's dragging meat and bone into the wound with it, doing all kind of additional damage, just an overall bad day. So we're going to move on to shoot some more stuff, but I'm really liking the 300 Blackout. And that little Iroquois can, very quiet, even considering the subsonic. It's, I would say, hearing safe. But of course, you know, anytime you're running supersonic ammo out of a suppressor, you do want to use hearing protection, but it's certainly not uncomfortable or obnoxious in terms of, you know, the signature of the sound. So let's roll on to some other stuff. That's pretty damn impressive. All right, guys, we're moving along to the 145 grain Control Chaos, Lehigh here. We're gonna shoot it into the same exact ballistics gelatin, the same exact turkey leg, rib meat, 4 layers of denim, just like before. I have a feeling this is gonna get really ugly. This is a PTR 91 with an 18-inch barrel. The optic mounted is a Vortex PST 1:4 by 24. Oh, wow, it slammed the piss out of it. Let's have a look and see, make sure we hit it where we want it to there. All right, guys, we saw that the 145 grain Controlled Chaos out of the 308, the PTR there, complete chaos. Let's just say that. I mean, this thing, the permanent cavity is almost as long as this entire block. Now, if I look, it's probably hard to really judge because of the thickness of this block is probably actually too small, but we see that we've got well over 6 inches of penetration long ways. Now, this direction we saw that we were still getting a lot of permanent cavity damage all the way through the block, and the bullet wasn't even starting to slow down. It was still expanding and causing damage all the way for the entire length of this block. Now, the projectile went through the bone on the turkey hock, through 4 layers of denim, through the rib meat, and then caused still that wound right there. If we would have had another 2 or 3 pieces of ballistics gel behind this, this base would have carried on for probably another 20 inches or so, maybe even more. Of course, it does depend on barrel length and everything like that. But we see there we have a nice clean little wad cutter there. And believe me, I think that even in this 145 grain loading, you could kill an elk with this with proper shot placement. A lot of folks tend to think that, okay, well, if you're not running 180 or 200 grain in 308, that you're not going to be getting anything done from a hunting perspective. But I disagree. I think a bullet like this could lend itself quite well to big game hunting with proper shot placement. And again, with all of this, what we're trying to prove is that shot placement's everything. This is a worst case scenario personal defense situation. Let's say you're shooting a rifle or a handgun at somebody and their body is turned to you and you've got to get through the bone in the arm, through the denim, through fabric, through the rib cage. Of course, we know 308 is going to push on through, but still, very awesome result. We're going to move on to shoot a couple of more things with this 308. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're going to run the PTR 91 a little bit. We saw that ballistics gel footage, really impressive. I'm really liking what I'm seeing there. But just to give you guys an idea, we're going to go ahead and shoot a couple of other objects. We got a nacho cheese can left over from our frat party earlier. We've got our ketchup, a watermelon, and we've got a 2-liter soda bottle. 145 grain Control Chaos. And this just to give you kind of a visual representation. It's always nice to see things come apart real nice. Here we go. That soda's not getting away. Nice. All right. Well, we saw that it pretty much vaporized all of those objects. I mean, it came apart really nice. We're going to move on to shoot some other stuff, but so far I'm really loving the 308. I'm really impressed with that brass bullet, and the whole point of this video is to show the damage potential of that Control Chaos bullet. It really is impressive. So we're going to move on to some other stuff. Let's get to it. All right, guys, moving down the line, we got the 55 grain 223, and this is the one that I'm really curious about because I just really want to see this thing put the slap down. We've got our 2-liter cola bottle, we got a ketchup, a nacho cheese, and a watermelon. All of them with varying degrees of viscosity. I'm just really curious to see how well this thing slams it. Here we go. Oh yeah, awesome. I think we got the result that we were looking for there. Those 55s really tear through some stuff. Didn't quite do a number on the ketchup like I would have expected, but it made short work of that nacho cheese, the 2-liter, and of course our watermelon didn't really fare much of a chance there. So let's move on, shoot some other stuff. Really cool, visually impressive round that just really messes things up, which is what we're looking to do. All right, guys, those 110 grain 300 Blackouts look really impressive in the ballistics gel. And honestly, out of today's performance of all the rounds that we've tested, obviously other than that 50 cal, the 300 Black I'm really happy with. So we're going to take the same exact rig with the Iroquois suppressor on there, 308 can. Go ahead and run it. Oh yeah, made short work of them. Well, I'll tell you what, I can think of some other things that we probably need to do today. So let's finish the video out with kind of a cool grand finale, see how it does. Let's get to it. All right guys, I've really enjoyed playing around with this Control Chaos line of ammo from Lehigh Defense. Some really awesome stuff, but I tell you, this 750 grain 50 cal loading was just so dang impressive earlier. We're gonna finish today's video out by using our old Ballistics Gel remnants. We got 64 inches of Ballistics Gel, 64 inches long, 6x6. We're gonna see if we can't punch this 50 cal all the way through it. Now, I don't know if we can get it to fly straight, but dang it, we're gonna try. Hopefully the gun gods are with me today and we can punch it right through the center. Here we go. Oh, wow, wow. Holy smokes. Oh man, let's go have a look there. All right guys, we can see that with the 50 cal there, impressive display of just sheer power. Now, 750 grains is 750 grains no matter how you run it. But when it's going out with that particular projectile, it is just so wicked to see the amount of force that was just exerted on that first block. It just completely just disintegrated the first block. Second block certainly took a lot of damage. The round started to skew kind of lower, and it looks like on the third block it went down, split the wood out. Our Coke bottle's still there. I mean, out of all that, it's just still sitting there laughing at me. Well, guys, I appreciate you watching this video today. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Hopefully you were entertained in the process. You know I'm not gonna let that Coke bottle get away. See you guys later.